Hello, Tyson. How are you?
I'm well. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 76.
76. Good evening.
Of Nick Tyson Videotape.
Hi, gang.
We're here with a very exciting episode this evening.
We are, aren't we?
We're hitting up our romantic comedy vibes. Romantic comedy?
Oh, yeah.
Romantic light comedy?
I'd say romantic comedy.
Yeah.
But it's more of the leaning towards the romantic more than the comedy.
Yes, indeed it is.
Yeah.
And that is 1993, Sleepless in Seattle.
Right,
the second of three very popular Tom Hanks,
Duos,
Meg Ryan team-ups.
Team-ups?
Wasn't
there was
probably
another
the
one?
most successful of the three,
That's
I
true.
would say.
Yeah, the other ones were You've Got Mail.
And Joe versus the Volcano.
That's the one.
So, yeah, we're very excited to be talking about Sleepless in Seattle. We'll be getting that a little bit later on, but we want to welcome everybody to the show.
How you going?
76 episodes down, Nicholas.
And for those people who have listened to all 76, good God, thank you. Just
what are you doing with your
biggest,
life?
No, none of that. The biggest thank you from me and my friend
Huge
Tyson.
thank you
the
from
biggest
us.
Thanks.
Yeah,
thanks so
we
much.
love our dedicated fans so much.
Appreciated.
It really warms our heart to when we see people that have been around since the beginning. It's pretty awesome.
It's a bit weird.
Before we
yes.
do anything else, let's also just have a little bit of we're getting to an exciting time of year, Nicholas.
Oh, we are.
So if you are a horror movie fan, the entire month of October we do our spookisodes.
That's true.
So we're going to be talking exclusively horror for the entire month of October,
which is so boss.
and we've got some really exciting things planned.
We
there
do.
might be one of the all-time great horror movie villains might be making his first appearance. We're going to be looking at perhaps some kind of original versus remake. And
That's true.
Everything old is new again. And we all know that horror movies are pretty ripe with this kind of stuff.
That's true.
So which one could we be doing?
Studios love to remake them.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. So we're doing a very exciting one.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping to perhaps visit a film from one of my personal favourite authors.
Stephen King.
That opens up a whole can of worms.
That's a massive can.
Yeah, so there could any number of things we could be doing.
That's true.
There.
And we're going to touch on a franchise.
Well, yeah, we're hoping to have a look at a franchise.
A whole franchise. And that's a big feat for
It will be
Tyson
a big
and I,
feat.
but,
So,
yeah,
we've got some really exciting things planned. So if you like your horror movies, please tune in during the month of October.
Exactly.
And if you wish to tune in or get involved on our social media, Nick, why don't you tell people where they can do that?
Nice segue, Tice. I liked it.
Yeah.
Well done. Yes, but thank you. If you are listening to us on iTunes or on Stitcher or any one of these platforms that allows you to rate, review, or anything like that, we would much appreciate it.
We would.
You can share us around on those, I believe. But other than that, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter. You can view us on YouTube. You can listen to the podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, you can
share them around like that. And the other one is, we have an email account. So if you wish to write in some correspondence, I love that word. We are at nicktysonvideotape@gmail.com. I spell Nick without a K and Tice is T-Y-S.
That's correct. And look, nothing's set in stone yet for our spookisodes.
That's
so
true.
Perhaps if you've got an idea
it would have to be
for
good.
anything that you'd specifically like us to talk about, why don't you just get on the social medias and let us know.
Exactly.
We're not exactly sold on, we could do any kind of different remake and original of a horror film.
Yeah.
Perhaps you've got a favourite Stephen King film that you'd mind, because we're kind of just like whatever we can
That's
find
true.
really at the moment. So maybe if you've got a favourite one you want to throw our way that we can have a chat about.
We are about to get another Halloween. Is this a remake? Is this a prequel? Would we do, if we did that, would it
I
be...
think it counts as a sequel.
It's a sequel? That's what I
don't
thought.
think we'd be
Yeah.
able to do
No?
that as part of Everything Old is New Again. We'd
'cause
have to
that'd be fun.
Yeah, we're pretty specific. We're pretty hard-ass with our rules here.
That's true.
If there's one
We're not
thing,
flimsy.
one thing that people could say about us is that we stick to the rules.
We stick to our rules.
We do not.
I like it.
But before we talk about Sleepless in Seattle, Nick,
Yeah.
we've got a pretty exciting edition of...
We've had some fun drops today.
We have, so let's get into them with some
some
Talkin
trailers. Let's do it.
Everybody's talking trailers. All right.
Okay.
Well, let's do the big one first because it's exciting. It's on the tip of everyone's tongue.
It is. It's Brie Larson.
It is.
And it's Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah.
War is a universal language. I know a renegade soldier when I see one. Never occurred to me that one might come from above. Space invasion. Big car chase. Truth be told, I was ready to hang it up till I met you today. So you're not from around here?
It's hard to explain.
I know nothing of Captain Marvel. Out of all my readings,
Sure.
she's the least that I know.
I know zero.
Yeah.
We're
going in blind
big fat
here.
zero.
Yeah.
I'm going in completely blind.
Yeah. Like even Ant-Man I knew a little bit about.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've picked up bits and pieces as we've gone along. Like since the movie has been announced, I've just
a bit of reading here and
just
there.
what's
Yeah.
popped up here and there, like articles that'll hear where to say just exactly who is Captain Marvel,
What
and I've
are
had
her powers?
Yeah, and so I've had a little bit of a read to
Nice.
kind of get up to speed as best I can.
Yeah.
It's an interesting addition. I think it's one of those characters that it's I can tell why they've held off as long as they have, because she is more in line with the
Guardians Thor aspect of
like,
it. It's a
bit more
universe.
fantastical kind of thing.
Yeah, fair
where I think if it was introduced too early, I think we might struggle a little bit.
Fair deal.
But having said that, I suppose Thor did kind of fit in pretty well. And
That's true. He was the one that I was like, "Oh, how are they going to do this?" Because this is another universe, and that's going to be hard for some people to swallow. But no, they did it well, and everyone loved it.
Now we're at this kind of point in the Marvel movies where it's just all bets are off.
All bets are off.
You can do whatever the hell you like.
Exactly.
We're setting stuff in space. There's people are just out of control.
We're going miniature.
Yeah.
We're buying franchises of other people.
Pretty much. They're just like, everything is going to be a Disney production within about 20 years.
Yep.
So it's probably the best time for it. We know from... I mean, if you have been living under a rock for a year, and you didn't happen to see Avengers: Infinity War,
that little teaser at the end, that was paging Captain Marvel.
It was, and so we know that she's going to be a big part of the next Avengers movie, and so we're getting this origin-ish kind of film as a bit of an introduction to her. Set in the 90s, which is pretty cool.
Set in the 90s.
I'm excited about that.
That drop into Blockbuster video, Tice. Did that not strike a match in your heart?
Such, I get so nostalgic when I see the Blockbuster video signs in stores. There's something about it.
I know.
I'll always get nostalgic about
really?
it.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm glad that it's set in the 90s. I like a little 90s throwback. Like I was talking about this literally today because we were talking about the song. But when Iron Man 3 started with now listen up, here's the story, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" It was such a nice throwback, and now we're just like, let's
hey,
do
it's the 90s, let's do it. We've got a young Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, looking fucking pretty great with some de-aging going on.
I like it.
And even, did you see the shot of Clark Gregg with his full head of hair, like his fancy 90s little quiff
awesome.
hair?
I loved it.
Which I love Agent Coulson.
I love Agent Coulson.
So it's very exciting to have
but
him
we do
floating
get
around again.
There are a few throwbacks. If you're looking down the cast list, there's a lot of de-aging of a lot of other characters who were from Guardians and things like that.
Well,
like
we get it, Ronan the Accuser is playing a big role in this film. We're getting the Kree and the Skrulls introduced, which Skrull, the whole Skrull thing kind of
storyline
is going to throw a huge spanner in the works, because essentially, what's going to happen. A big twist at some point will be that a character that we've spent a long time with is actually a Skrull.
Who could it be?
Which I think is going to be pretty great. I think that whole idea that the Skrulls can just take the form of anyone and basically live out their lives in secret, and we get the great shot of Captain Marvel punching out a grandma on a train that
and it set Twitter on storm today.
It did. And you know what?
I loved it.
If that's right for me, I say go for it, because it's pretty great.
Because God damn it, Grandma, you stink. You farted.
Yeah.
And we punched you out.
That's
and it was fun.
Yeah. Nasty alien creature, Grandma.
Exactly.
How dare you?
How dare you?
But let's talk specifically, though. Why don't we have a chat about Brie Larson herself? I think
dude.
the character that we haven't seen yet in these films.
Yeah.
What impression did you get from her?
From the trailer, in the whole, I love Brie Larson no matter what she's in. I've loved her for a while.
I'm a big fan of hers. Yeah.
I didn't get a lot from this trailer, but in saying that, I'm taking this with a grain of salt. I need a little bit more. I don't really know the character just yet. For me, she's a little bit of a Supergirl-esque, kind of a fish out of water, has her powers, but kind of doesn't use them, maybe. That's what it looks like it's going towards. It
seems like she because Carol Danvers is the human.
Is the human, yeah.
Incarnation of her.
Yep.
Like I said, we probably could have just fucking looked this shit up. But she she lived on Earth, then went to live in the stars, and now is back. Yeah. But she doesn't have all the memories of her time on Earth.
So
it's
she's
all
getting those memories back, which you see throughout that trailer.
Yeah, which I think will give an opportunity for some really nice kind of poignancy, because no doubt, they will use kind of visual storytelling to kind of mirror some of her, struggles before.
She got her powers.
Before she got her powers.
Maybe there's some moral in there,
I think so. And I think because she's, it's obviously, a female in a military situation, there's always going to be that kind of, that extra pressure. Yeah. And I think maybe there's going to be some kind of like parallel storylines, I think, flowing through that. Yeah, yeah. I will say one thing, though.
I'll go for it.
I was just a little kind of... She's kind of just doing nothing at the moment.
Well, that's what I got from it. I didn't get, at the end of the... I'm going to compare it to Wonder Woman. At the end of the Wonder Woman trailer, I was like, fuck yeah, I can't wait for this shit. When she slid down and then lassoed that guy and kicked him in the face, I was like, fuck.
It would have been nice to see her do just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more. Yeah. Like when she was on the train and she went and had that powers come out of her fist.
It was pretty much the only time in the trailer that she showed any emotion at all. That someone actually on a state like a comment that I read. Yeah. If you notice, she has the same facial expression in every shot that she's in. Really? She and that's an exaggeration.
Maybe that's on purpose.
Yeah. But you do notice that she. Yeah, it's obviously could be a character choice, could be something that they're deliberately doing.
Maybe, but it does make for some cut like that.
Well, it does make for some really interesting slideshows because you can just basically
just cut it in the same,
and her face does not change. And that's the face. There we go.
That's the face. There's the face there.
When she turns around the train station, the first time we really see her face, basically that facial expression she maintains for the whole trailer. Okay. Look, that doesn't mean anything.
Nothing at all.
I just think it's kind of funny that we're getting, I'm not saying I'm underwhelmed by this trailer, but I'm not, I'm not bursting at the seams.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I would hazard a guess it's that part of that is that this character hasn't set me on fire in this teaser.
Okay.
That's nobody's fault, except maybe the editing department of the trailer.
Yeah. Which you would think if you're editing a trailer, if you're editing trailers altogether, tell me you're watching them a billion times over. And that it can go either way. You're going to see some faults, you're going to go, okay, we're seeing this too much, this, and this. Or it's just a blur, and you really don't know what you're looking at anymore.
Separate it, to separate and see what works and what doesn't.
Exactly. Boom. Yeah. Cop that grammar.
Copied grammar. So yeah, look, I wanted to be over the moon for this. I've been waiting to see this trailer for since basically the end of Avengers Infinity War. I was really stoked. I think she looks awesome as the character. The costume is awesome. She's a great casting choice because I firmly believe, I really do believe that she's an excellent actress.
Yeah, she is.
Big fan of what she does. I just don't love this trailer.
Yeah, it's just a mediocre trailer, which is fine.
Yeah, but it can be. Trailers don't have to be fantastic all the time.
They kind of do.
It's not always indicative of the quality of the film.
Oh no, of course not. Of course not.
I think
I'm still going to see the shit out of this.
I'm definitely going to see the crap out of it.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's just funny. I was so excited when I saw that it was posted at the end of the minute 50 or whatever it is, because it's relatively short.
Yeah, you were like...
I was kind of just, okay. I could watch another trailer soon. And
hopefully with a bit... Well, trailer 2 normally gives the bit of a story, a bit of a little bit more of a flavour.
There have been... think of some of the teasers that have really, really worked and have just set
my favourite,
set
Age of Ultron. The first trailer, when he came down and you just... it's just shot, action shot. It's not no one continuous shot at all. You're just seeing shots of them, but you're getting James Spader's voiceover.
Sure.
And at the end of it, you strings. Yeah. You get that Pinocchio song in the end. Yeah. And my fucking God, I think I watched that thing a billion times.
I did watch that quite a lot.
Strings.
Yes, I look. I still think that the film is in very capable hands.
Directors of this film, Tice, you know them better than me.
Yeah, I don't know them.
Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck.
Yeah, so Half Nelson and Mississippi Grind. Yeah. So it's the same thing that they've been doing a little bit lately, which is bringing in kind of giving the indie directors a
bit of a go,
a go, and
totally.
like let's just see what happens, and it obviously worked really well with God, I've drawn a blank now. The Infinity War directors.
I was just about to say Spree Brothers. It's not Spree Brothers. It is. Oh my God,
the
we
guys
suck.
from Community.
People are yelling down the thing at us.
They are indeed.
Oh my God.
This should be easy to find out as well within about 12 seconds.
2 seconds and in 3.
It's just not going to come to me. If I was at a trivia night and this question came up, I'd just walk out the door and shoot myself.
We are fired.
Oh my God! But yeah, so it worked well for them, whoever they are. I've got it up here first. Russo. God, Russo.
God damn it!
Russo brothers.
That took me way too long.
Oh, Jesus.
Way too long. Russo brothers.
There we go. We got there.
Yeah, they took a chance on them, and by God, did it pay off?
Yeah, absolutely paid off.
Yeah.
And that it's a bit of a thing at the moment, like to
good.
Taika
I'm
Waititi
glad.
as well.
Exactly.
So I'm all for it. I really, really love Mississippi Grind.
Yeah.
I found it to be like a real surprise package of a movie that I was just kind of like, wow, this is.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? And I wanted to like it, but it wasn't there for me. On the backhand of that, though, what's the other one they did? The Ryan Gosling,
Nelson.
Half Nelson.
Yeah.
That was intense.
Yeah, great,
I loved that.
great performance in that. Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Captain Marvel.
I think I just need to see another one,
sure,
to make sure that I'm definitely in. I like the color palette.
You're in. It's just that that one didn't do it for you, so you're kind of like, well, you want to be excited, Tyson.
I do.
And that's okay.
I really want to be.
It's just that, you're not going to get it with Australia. You're going to get it with the next one.
It's a good year. Is next year a good year for Marvel, or is it the year after? How many are we getting? We're getting Captain Marvel. Are we getting Avengers 4 next year?
I believe so. I don't know the time.
Or is it the year after?
Would you like me to look it up?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Marvel release dates 2019. I think that'll give us our answers.
Thank you.
If it might just be the two of them, or is there a third? I don't know.
I think it is, isn't it? No, because you're getting. I love that you give me 2000. No, I asked for 19, not 18.
Jerks.
It's giving me 16 now.
Right, that's good. That's what you want. Good on you, Googles.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Give it a Googs, mate.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Well, Venom is this year.
No, doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Venom doesn't count at all. Like at all. Just none.
No.
Get fucked. Avengers 4, May, and then Spider-Man, Far From Home.
Ah, so we are getting 3 next year.
And then, that's it. That's what we're getting.
Great.
Yeah, decent.
I'm happy with that.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
That's a pretty good lineup.
Nice. I thought there was a Doctor Strange too.
I think that might be the year after now.
Jesus.
Okay. But they're 3 movies that I'm very excited about.
3 a year, I'm okay with.
Yeah. I think this year I was there was obviously, one that I was very excited about.
This year I'm fine with just that one.
But the other 2 were kind of ones that I was, obviously going to see, but I wasn't like chomping at the bit for.
Yeah, fair deal.
As they say.
The other 2 were
Black Panther and Ant-Man.
Ant-Man I was chomping at the bit for. No, sorry. Let's go back. Black Panther I was chomping at the bit for. I saw that at the cinema and my God.
I loved Black Panther. I thought it was pretty great.
But Infinity War was
it was all about that.
Like seeing Star Wars: A New Hope at the cinema for the first time.
It was
That's how
very
exciting
exciting.
that was.
Very exciting.
Tyler, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. That's some quality dead air just there. I like it.
Nice pause. I like it. Well, do you want to talk? Let's talk Mary Poppins. Shall we do Mary Poppins?
Yes.
Or would you like to
do that?
All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I honestly can't remember why we kept most of this stuff to begin with.
Don't you remember that kite? We used to love flying that with Mother and Father.
Those days are long behind me.
That's why I live and breathe.
I was flying the kite and it got caught on a nanny.
Mary,
Poppins, you came back.
you seem hardly to have aged at all.
Really? One never discusses a woman's age, Michael. Would have hoped I taught you better. What brings you here after all this time? Same thing that brought me the first time. I've come to look after the bank's children.
Us?
Oh, yes, you too.
We're about to lose our home. Everything's falling to pieces since your mother.
I miss Mother.
Nothing's gone forever, only out of place.
It's a good thing you come along when you did, Mary Poppins.
Right, so
Mary Poppins returns.
yes, well, for there was a teaser trailer that was released, and I don't know if we mentioned much about it, but it did nothing for me.
I did. I mentioned it only because we were doing what we were excited for of this year.
Okay,
and it's
sure.
on the cards for me only because Mary Poppins is a very big deal for me.
Sure.
I love that this thing drops on Christmas Day. Okay.
It's a very Christmas Day movie.
It is a Christmas Day movie, and so
it's a great family.
I don't know why you're going to drop it on Christmas Day, though. I'm pretty sure everyone is busy. Well,
no, people still go to the movies on Christmas Day.
People who celebrate Christmas are busy.
Yeah. I'd love to start making it a morning tradition on Christmas to go see a Christmas movie and then go do the rest of my stuff.
Well, our tradition to see a movie was Christmas. Now that I'm an old fart, to see it on New Year's Eve.
Oh, I love it.
Go have dinner and then go see a movie New Year's Eve.
Great idea.
Go to bed and then get up and get smashed with my group of friends who I love.
New Year's Day.
New Year's Day.
Love it.
Really write it off.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah.
Nick, so you can probably lead this one a little bit more because
sure.
You're
not. Yeah. You didn't have the connection that I did with Mary Poppins, and that's fine.
No, I watched it when I was a kid, and I'm sure I did like it, but I was never. It was never one of those ones that, like, as a kid, I wanted to watch every week.
I never did that either. It's just I think I grew up. I think it was more a little bit further down the line. Like, I watched it every now and then as a kid, but I never had the VHS that I taped off the TV and music and pause the ads.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never did that. That was never a movie of mine, but I always loved Mary Poppins. I guess that's why, maybe, because I didn't have access to it all the time. Anyway, this is a big deal because what they're doing is a sequel to a movie that is loved by quite a few people. Now,
but almost universally. Yeah. I'm not saying I don't love it either. Like, I haven't seen it literally since I was 7 years old or something, so I couldn't even tell you. Like, I've seen all the clips. I know the importance of it all. I know the songs. I just haven't sat down and watched Mary Poppins start to finish in 30 years, I reckon.
Fair deal.
So,
too busy watching Hurricane Heist for the 5th time.
Watch out, end of year list. Watch out, Sneaky Black Horse for favourite film of the year.
Really is not.
No,
oh my God.
It's not at all.
So you've got Emily Blunt in this trailer. You're seeing Mary Poppins come back to help out the Banks children.
Yes.
Now it seems like it's Jane and Michael, and it seems that Michael's wife has passed away.
Michael's wife has passed away, and now he has three children of his own
to look after. And Mary has come back to look after the Banks children.
Yes.
But in saying that sentence, and for anyone who has seen Saving Mr. Banks, you understand why Mary Poppins exists. To kind of give her a hand. So you get there's a mishmash of things that people love with the 2D cartoons coming in.
I was actually really happy to see that they were employing the old hand drawn kind of element, which probably isn't hand drawn anymore, but gives the impression of that. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah. The character that Lin-Manuel Miranda's playing
is Dick Van Dyke's character. I think. Yeah. Well,
so did he not age? Is what's going on here?
No, he did age
into Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah,
into someone who's probably younger than Dick Van Dyke was in the first movie. Is that what you're telling me?
Pretty much, yeah.
Bert.
Let's look him up.
Bert.
Yeah, Bert. It is Bert.
Is that who Lin-Manuel Miranda's playing?
I'm guessing. I'm really guessing because that's what I got. That's the what I got from the trailer.
All right, I'm gonna have a little squiz at this.
Please do. But yeah. Now in watching this trailer,
no, he's playing a character called Jack.
Okay, there you go. Well, I was wrong.
So
are you telling me that? Can you scroll down and see who Dick Van Dyke is playing? Because is he?
Yeah, hang on.
He's playing Bird, isn't he?
No, he's not playing Bird. He's playing someone else.
the bank manager. Like he is again.
Someone. Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on.
Anyway, while Tyson keeps looking that up, the reason that this is on a knife point for me is because it's big shoes to fill. Only for me. This is going to open up for kids.
Dick Van Dyke is playing Mr. Dawes Jr., so the son of the bank manager.
That's hilarious. It's a knife point for me because this movie does have very big shoes to fill. Although, in saying that, if you're going to fill Julie Andrews' shoes with Emily Blunt, You've done pretty well there.
Emily Blunt's a great choice, I think, definitely. I'm not sure Rob Marshall's the best choice.
This is where the rub comes in.
He's hit and miss big time.
What has Rob done recently? Is it 9? Was it 9?
9, which I struggled with.
Did you watch
9.
that?
Yeah, I tried.
Well done.
Probably the worst of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, although I haven't seen this 5th one,
really?
so it's the worst of the 4. The Into the Woods movie, which I watched about 10 minutes of and went, no, this is not for me.
Yep, fair deal.
So it's
a bit hit and miss, like Ty said.
His musical theatre, because this is the thing, he did Chicago, and so it was like,
and he won the Oscar.
He won the Oscar for it, yeah. And so he kind of got shoehorned, I think, a little bit into this musical theatre stuff. Maybe he shouldn't be doing it because
maybe we should pass.
His musicals are his worst movies.
Wow! So Chicago was basically his first fucking film.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was a luck of the draw, man. Oh, come on. Come on.
Because he got quite good, write up for Memoirs of a Geisha. I know that movie is pretty well loved.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Look, he's I think what they're doing, the visual styling seems to be really in tune with the original, which I think is lovely. It's colourful. They're not trying to make it like dark and depressing. I like that we've kind of come around on all this stuff. So, we had that patch where everything was like the dark, untold stories of these
Cinderella,
Disney, of these Disney characters.
Yeah.
Well, Cinderella's
the slipper
not.
Actually cut her foot open and she bled. No, okay. I missed out. Sorry.
I heard that Cinderella was actually quite lovely.
Oh, really?
What's Kenneth Branagh? Kenneth Branagh directed that.
Well, clearly it's going to
be all over
awesome. Well, I'm going to watch that now. That's lovely.
But
with this, you've got a story that maybe if you've got good writers, I don't know who David McGee is. Hopefully he's good.
Good old Davey McGee.
Davey McGee. Hopefully he's good. But with the stellar cast that you have and the topic that you have, maybe they can carry the director through it. Maybe it doesn't need much of a vision.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Maybe
the characters are that strong that it just carries you through a lovely piece of work.
I also find it interesting that there's only a really small amount of music in it, like singing in it.
How do you know that?
No, in the trailer.
Oh, in the trailer. No, I'm okay with that. I like that. It's a little. No. We are going to sing, but it's not going to be.
The little bit we've heard is in no way like inspiring for the rest of it. I thought it was pretty naff. No. But it's that thing that annoys me where it's like that trailers try to hide the fact that it's a musical. Like it happened with Sweeney Todd. Remember when Sweeney Todd came out? Like
that's true.
People didn't know it was a musical. They sat down and they're like, "Oh my god, when does the singing going to stop?" And it's like
Nick was in the audience going, "You dumb fucks."
But that's it. Like, I mean, obviously people that have an understanding of musical theatre get it that it's going to be a musical. But for regular Joe Punter, think that they're going to see a Tim Burton serial killer movie with Johnny Depp.
Dude, I'm all over it.
Are not excited about that. So I find it weird that they're kind of burying the lead a little bit here with the music.
Everyone knows what Mary Poppins is about. You're going to get supercalifragilisticexpialidocious in there. I'm not saying that that's going to be in there. I'm going to say you're going to get songs
a version of that
in this movie that is part of Mary Poppins, ye oldie Walt Disney stuff.
True.
It's going to be some magic. Well, hopefully. I'm slightly excited.
Just slightly?
Let me pull back. I'm mildly excited.
Mildly excited is an oxymoron of sorts, but I will take it.
Okay.
Because I think I'm in the same boat. I'm kind of sitting here like...
I love Emily Blunt. I'm riding the train that is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Sure.
I
want to experience the joy of it, and I want it to be something that I hear is excellent, and I go and I just
sure,
my heart just opens up to it, and it's wonderful. But I'm not convinced that that's going to be the case just yet.
Exactly. The bar is set low. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
the bar is low.
Yeah. The trailer has done nice things for me, though. I think I appreciate the fact that what kind of color palette they're using. I appreciate the animation. I appreciate this. It does feel like a Disney movie that was made in the 50s and 60s.
Yes.
It just has this effect. Whether or not that's the way it's been lit or the way it's been shot, just something about it feels old school.
Let's hope Rob knows
is
what
nice.
he's doing. Because he doesn't recently.
No.
At the end of this, I hope that I hate it and stick to the original and you like it.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? How the tables have turned.
Exactly. I just wanted to do a quick shout out.
Sure.
To the trailer that we're not going to talk about.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, which is the Laurel and Hardy movie.
Oh, yeah.
Which the name escapes me. Ollie and who? No.
Stan
and Ollie. Thank you.
Stan and Ollie? Is that right?
Let me double check. Make sure I get it right. Because I'm going to watch the shit out of this thing. I watched that trailer. We didn't want to talk about it because there's nothing really to talk about.
Not just yet.
No. But I'm going to watch this thing and I'm going to bawl my fucking eyes out.
Yeah, I'm interested by it. I think it's it was a good trailer.
Stan and Ollie,
the trailer basically gave you the whole movie.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit upset about that. But being someone that I know Laurel and Hardy by reputation more so than actual ever seeing any of their films.
Yeah.
So I kind of don't know their story. When it got to like stuff about Hardy, possibly, if you go on stage again, you could die. And I was like, what the fuck are we watching? Like,
he was a big guy.
Yeah,
of course, there's going to be some health problems.
I love how it's like that's the drama of the movie. It's like watch out, a fat guy might have a heart attack. It's like,
come
no
on,
shit.
don't
In other
pull
news,
it away.
Water is wet. The sky is blue.
Don't pull it away from my little shout out. It was cute.
It was a nice trailer, though. John C. Reilly,
yeah.
It actually looked like it was a convincing makeup job. I actually thought, I was like, that actually doesn't look that bad at all.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Maybe want to watch some Laurel and Hardy, though, as well.
It really does.
Yeah.
That box set is very cheap at JB Tyson.
Is it really?
It is.
What's in it?
I think there's like 6 or 7 films.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And it's,
That's all right.
Anyway.
Shall we move on?
Oh, shall we move on?
All right, time for our feature prez, my man.
Feature prez.
And now for our feature presentation.
All right.
The year is 1993.
It is 1993.
Had Joe the Volcano happened already?
Yeah, that was 1991, or maybe it was 89, actually.
It was 89. I'm going to say 89. I'm going to say, I'm going to say 88.
Oh, 88, going even further back.
Yeah.
Who's going to get there first?
You.
We're both wrong. 1990 on the dot.
Wow, on the dot. Okay, well done. Okay, so they'd done one before. They'd hit a little bit of gold. Joe versus the Volcano was more of a comedy, wasn't it?
Do you know what? I haven't seen it in many moons.
Since the 90s.
And
I literally watched the end of it, I believe.
I would need, I'd actually really like to watch it again because I've heard it's really quite fun.
But the reason that you picked this, Tyson, which, well, for one, we haven't done a romance in a while, which we love. We're big sweethearts, me and Tyce. The second reason you want to is because you really can't go wrong with a Tom Hanks film.
I was on a Tom Hanks Jones last week. We started talking about him for some reason. I can't remember.
I think it was something we streamed.
And then I was just like, fuck, let's do a Tom Hanks movie.
And it was such a good pick. You know why? Because I have never seen Sleepless in Seattle.
Was this your first viewing?
This is my first viewing.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to throw
everything.
Throw it to you, my man.
Throw it to me.
I'd like to hear
you want to throw it to me?
Yeah. What were your first impressions of Sleepless in Seattle?
Where was the heart, Tyson? Where I felt no romance whatsoever. No, let's take that back.
Wow. Jesus. Going straight for the jugular on this. It's going to be one of those eps. I'm
kidding. Okay, so there were some moments in there.
Yes.
But there were equal as many moments as made me go, oh, that's dated and quite odd now.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of it is quite dated.
But that's like...
It's dated in two ways. It's dated straight up, like in the most technical way, as in there's a scene where she sits down at a computer, which is legitimately hilarious. The way she uses like email and like search functions.
And search functions, yeah.
It's
I love
like,
that. I love that
just
scene.
wild.
That's one of my favourite scenes.
It's pretty great. But also dated in its, I don't know.
Well, some of the conversations that were happening for me were just like, oh, that doesn't sit with me.
Yeah, look,
it's like that.
It's that whole idea of how often the movie brings up about, oh, watch out, you're getting close to 40 and you're never going to get a man.
Yeah, what the fuck was that about?
That kind of stuff.
We'll get to that.
And even the whole idea of, I don't want to say the stalking that goes on.
Hey,
but
we're not bringing this up just yet.
Stalking.
No, don't bring this up just yet, because I have a counter argument to that. Like that scene is on par with some light Facebook stalking of a person you know. Like, that's all that is.
Just a bit of light Facebook stalking.
Everyone does a bit of light Facebook stalking. Oh, what is this? What is so-and-so doing now? Oh, they got fat. That's a shame. Suck it.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the same. That's the same
I'll
thing.
pay that.
Exactly.
I'll pay that.
But as a whole, like, watching the entire thing, I felt for Tom Hanks's character. In saying that, if we are going to start this at the start, what a punch in the gut at the start. Starts at a funeral. Good Lord, man.
I definitely forgot that this was the way this movie started. And it is, it's hard.
I was like, wow,
it gets
we
you
can
right in the
only
guts.
go up from here.
Well, I think because it has a reputation of being, this, wonderfully popular romantic film. And it's a feel-good film as well. Like, I think it has that reputation. And so you sit down, you sit your butt on your couch, and you get your cup of tea or whatever your drink of choice is, and you're thinking, I'm going to watch a lovely little bit of Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan doing their thing, and it's like smash cut for funeral.
Boom, kid crying. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck?
Sometimes people get sick and they die. And it's just like, oh my fucking God.
Wait a minute, you're saying this sentence while you're burying your mum. Don't say this now. That's bad parenting. You say it when in the hospital. Jesus Christ.
Look, it's a strong statement at the beginning. And I think that's one of the things that it kind of gets overlooked about this film is I actually think some of its strongest stuff is its examination of the grieving process and mourning.
I think that's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
It was that side with him and the son.
Yeah, I think
the way that Tom Hanks's character was dealing with the fact that he didn't have his wife anymore.
Yeah, I think some of that is the best stuff in it, and obviously that's what all these women connect to when he becomes this radio sensation, Sleepless in Seattle, is that they see. Obviously some of them are just weird freaks who have fallen in love with the voice of a man, and
because reality TV wasn't invented yet, so they literally got a bite of reality television just then.
And they're all like, I bet he's got a tight buns.
Exactly.
I love the word. I love when people talk about buns. I'm just like, buns is the 90s in a nutshell.
That is amazing.
If you want to know what people cared about in the 90s,
they cared about buns. Yeah. If they've got nice buns, I'm all for them. God, look at those buns.
I mean, like, it's just hilarious.
But yeah, going.
Every time I hear someone mention buns, I'm just like, it gives me a good little giggle.
Buns. But going in on that, yes, there were the women who were listening to him over the radio were kind of imagining what it would be like because they're hearing a man. Like what I got from this was they're hearing a man emote for the first time. So you're coming off the back of an 80s masculinity, Arnold Schwarzenegger Stallone style,
very much,
to a man who is Tom Hanks. Is a single dad, and he's pouring his heart out.
Yeah, and he's in touch with his feelings, and this is obviously and you get examples of that of the opposite of that in things like Rob Reiner's character. Yeah. He seems like a genuinely lovely dude. He really does. He seems like I would love to hang out and have a beer with him. Yeah. I think his conversation about what dating is like now is actually one of the funniest things in the movie. I think it's so great. Then you get tested and you buy some condoms.
And you get some tested, yeah.
And it's like, and like the stories that Rosie O'Donnell as well tells.
I love Rosie O'Donnell. I don't care what anyone says.
I'm a big fan of
I'm a massive fan.
I think her film output might not be super consistent, but in specific roles, she can be really effective.
League of Their Own. Episode, 100%. Whatever we did on League of Their Own, fucking watch that.
Yeah, we were huge fans of her in that.
Massive fans.
Yeah, so I think you are right. I think we're at a certain period of time where that was obviously very unfamiliar. Yeah. It helps immensely that I think some of the writing in this movie I think is really quite touching and really hits the nail on the head of certain things like what it is like to recover from having lost the love of your life to illness. It's something that I couldn't fathom. And I think the movie does some really nice stuff. I love the scene where he's kind of half asleep and she just walks in and grabs his beer and they start talking. Yeah, and that's nice. And the ghost, his imagination actually says, what's the thing I used to say again? And it's like it's his own psyche remembering it at the same time. I thought that was beautiful.
Good writing there.
I thought it was really stunning, and I was like, I got really sad a lot of times in this film for Tom Hanks' character.
Well, tell me, Tice, what is your relationship with Sleepless in Seattle? When
I watched a lot
as
a kid. Yeah. It was like a Friday night movie staple for all through the 90s.
Oh, nice.
So I've probably seen it 4 or 5 times as a kid. Yeah. I've seen it once since then as an adult, probably 10 years ago, and then this time. So, yeah,
nice.
I enjoy this movie quite a bit. I think it's got some real problems. I think it is half an excellent movie, half a movie that I can put up with.
Yeah, fair deal.
And unfortunately, it's just it's the Meg Ryan half that I just don't think is as strong.
Yeah. Which you want it to be. Like, I think you hit the nail on the head when everyone connects with the side where you see Tom Hanks's character dealing with the way that his wife, dealing with grieving. Yeah. For his wife. But yeah, once you've got all of these letters and Tom Hanks is dating and all of this stuff, and it's like, I'm kind of lost. Where's the romance? What's going on?
It is, yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting. And God, there is such great stuff, such strong stuff in the first 25, 30 minutes of this film.
Yeah.
That I think some of that goodwill coasts me through a bit more of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I really love the scene where he's going through all the cards. And
at work,
and there's that awkward moment of silence, and he says the great line is, "Don't mind him; he's just the guy who lost his wife."
And that was so good. How good was that?
And it's beautiful. It's lovely, and that moment of realization where it's like, we just got to get out of here because I'm sick of walking around a corner and seeing something that reminds me of her. Like it's just that stuff. And it's not it's not super like, it's not insightful to the point where it's like, wow, I've never thought of that. It's just plainly stated and effective. And I think I think lesser writers try to be overly poignant about something like that and find the most
a little bit too deep.
Yeah, it's like, we want to find the insight that you've never thought of before. In these circumstances, it's just finding the most eloquent way of saying that. And I think that happens a lot early in the film. I think there's a lot of that really nice, like the conversation he has with the radio DJ. Like when she says, what was it about her? And like, it's not, you don't get that overly flowy conversation about, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear or anything. It's just said,
no.
It's just a whole bunch of little things that all added up to make her perfect. And I'm like, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And so that stuff's, I think, so strong. And then we get,
and then we get the Meg Ryan
stuff,
side,
which is just not as good.
Especially with Bill Pullman and that bullshit. And I'm like, this guy, like, I will give props. This character for Bill Pullman is exactly how I see Bill Pullman in every single movie I have ever seen him in. Seriously, even from Independence Day when he is saying that rad speech, in my head, as soon as I saw what type of character Bill Pullman was in this movie, I'm like, bang, there you go.
That's the closest to actual Bill Pullman.
Actual Bill Pullman right here. He is
he turns around halfway through his Independence Day speech and just chugs a few Ventolins.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, Bill Pullman's doing his thing again.
I'm getting a bit hay fevery with all this pollen around.
Who hired Bill Pullman for this thing?
See, look, I love Bill Pullman. I think he's great. Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. I like him in this. I'm disappointed that they... And this is a 90s thing, and it definitely went through into the 2000s.
Yep.
They're getting better at it now, but I just, why is it in all of these movies is the character that they're currently with?
Yep.
Everybody knows that they're not right for each other, including the audience, except for that person.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a character where it's like, why don't we ever get, and I know it happens sometimes, I can't for the life of me think of an example right now.
Sure.
But why don't we get that sense of equality where it's like, they are actually good together. Like, why don't we? No, that's what I'm saying. Why don't we ever see that? Why don't we ever see where it's like, no, they are good for each other, but it still doesn't mean that it's meant to be.
Yeah.
They're either fucking assholes or big dorks.
That's true.
Like, you don't just get a nice, genuine, good guy who, for whatever reason, their chemistry just doesn't always click.
Exactly. That's
like
so true.
We have to do all the funny allergies and stuff, and it's like the awkward conversation. And he tells bad jokes that that she has to explain, and like that kind of stuff. And it's the same with Victoria as well.
Yeah.
The one that Tom Hanks is dating. She couldn't just be a nice person and
with a normal laugh.
It's like, we've got to do a thing because otherwise, what are they worried the audience isn't going to want him and Meg Ryan to get together in the end? It's it's this weird mentality that I think makes these movies worse.
Yeah. The one that the couple actually does do that comes straight to mind is Daniel Radcliffe in our version was called What If, and everyone else got the F word.
Yeah. I didn't love that movie, but
I liked it. I liked it better than this.
Adam Driver was the best thing about that movie. Him and his girlfriend. I
just had sex and I'm going to eat nachos. I remember that. Me and my wife said it for like a week. Anyway.
It's been a good week.
It was a good week. But yeah, in that you get the couple that they are perfect for each other, and it does work. But
Sure.
she has fallen for someone else. That happens.
I do
and
remember
see that.
Yeah.
But in this, for some reason, it was just so awkward. And every time you saw him in bed with his demystifier and tissues up his nose and all these things, you were just like, oh Jesus. In reality, though, that is what it's like. Once you get down the line,
Sure.
dude.
Hey, look, don't get me wrong.
It's not.
I'd have a demister and eucalyptus oil going all night if I could. If I could be bothered setting all that shit up. I'd be all about that because
it's not just abs and black lace all the time.
Exactly. Well, and tell you what, like I get a bit hay fever. I'm going to be honest. All right, I struggle with allergies. All right. As you can probably hear, that I'm perpetually like speaking through my nasal cavity. So I could relate. I could relate to
Everyone
Bill Pullman.
can relate.
I just it just didn't have to be such a big dork.
Oh,
and
God, he was a dork.
even when they did have nice moments together, like it was like they were undercutting them.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, let them, because then it becomes more about what what is missing? What is that thing that's missing? Why is it so obviously? Oh, it's because she has a ridiculous laugh, and it's because he tells dumb jokes, and and he's a big dork. Why can't it be something more like
Just
honest, like normal? When you're just looking at, they're looking at each other and trying to figure out,
and you just go,
this is something. We're just not clicking.
But that's the thing, and that's why I guess when I saw the end of this thing, I was like, hang on a minute, how do you two know that you click? You saw her coming off a plane, then you saw her across the street. And she's just listening to your voice. She's got more of an in than you do, but how is this working?
Well, she knows quite a lot about him.
She does. She stalked the fuck out of him.
Yes. Yes, and they're going to have some really pretty upfront conversations.
Yeah.
And at the end of those conversations, he's going to have to make a call that it's like, well, you kind of...
It was an intrusive...
You were bordering on inappropriate behaviour.
Yeah,
I'd say you at times crossed the line into inappropriate behaviour. I don't know you very well.
Let's have a cup of coffee.
I think maybe we might need to take this pretty slow so I can just make sure that you're not a fucking crazy.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
I would have liked the Empire State ending. Awesome. I would have liked a bit more of a dialogue. Hey, let's get pancakes. Who's hungry for pancakes?
Do you know,
I would have liked some dialogue between her seeing, this is the son that she knows about him, so she has the up.
Yeah.
So she needs to say something. I understand that your wife. Well, maybe not. I understand that your wife is dead and things like that. But hey, I just want to get to know you. Not along these lines.
That's not an
not
opening
along these
line.
lines. Not along these lines. Obviously, something written better than this. But let's get pancakes and see if we hit it off or something.
Well, I think because we're so accustomed to the ends of romantic comedies having.
No dialogue.
Like a speech of some sorts. We are accustomed to that.
You complete me, man.
Yeah, exactly. So when it gets to that point and they're staring at each other, and it's kind of like, well, she's going to say something that is important and does, and that is memorable. And like, what's the great one at the end of Harry Met Sally? Like, it's so good.
Let's watch that again. But yeah, I know the one.
What?
I know the one you're talking about, the one in Harry Met Sally.
Oh, it's so
and it's
good.
awesome. It's like the same. It's the same as What Do You Want in The Notebook. What do you want? What do you want? And yeah,
hang on, because I've got to get this. Yeah, but I thought it was quite sweet the way he just kind of said, "It's time that we all go get out of here," and he just holds out his hand. I think that's quite sweet.
That was nice. That was very nice. But that was still him. It's up to her. She was the one who stalked the shit out of him.
Yeah, it's going to lead to some...
Exactly.
It's going to lead to some weird stuff.
While you find that, the one thing that did throw me quite hard in this movie, I have to bring it up, unless you've got it.
No, go talk.
Is the music choice, Tyson. The music choice in this, whoever was on music, you fail.
You failed.
You fail hard.
You failed.
You failed.
Oh my God, I love this soundtrack.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I absolutely adore it.
Are you not? It kicks me out every time. Every time.
Wow. Completely opposite effect.
Really? Every time it kicked me out, I'm like, did you just pick this? Did you just hit random on the jukebox? Is that what happened here?
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I came here tonight because when you realise you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
Oh, nice. See,
Lovely.
there you go.
Isn't that nice? It's beautiful. It's awesome.
That's written well.
We're so used to that.
Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
Come on.
Written by Nora Ephron.
There you go. Oh, come on.
Am I making that up?
Well, Nora Ephron directed this one, so come on. She
wrote it.
There you go.
Yeah, Rob Reiner directed it. That's right. I was confused for a second.
I'm just saying, come on. You could have done something.
So I love this soundtrack because I think...
You're kidding me, man.
Yeah, no, it's right up my alley. All of it is stuff that I love. I think it brings it gives it an emotional core that kind of feels timeless. I think it brings it back around to the 50s stuff that they're talking about with the whole with the Fair to Remember.
Yeah.
That kind of classical love story.
That bit, but it was the top 100 stuff that kept kicking me out. I was like, what is going on? Why are we playing this song?
Which ones? I'd be really interested to know.
I didn't write any of them down.
Anytime, like as soon as I heard Nat King Cole, I was like, oh man,
no, that was different. No, that was all right. You were pretty good there. Okay, I see where you're going, and then no, get out. I was like, what are you doing?
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm going to bring up the soundtrack. You keep talking.
I liked it to the point where I was like, oh my God, I need to buy this soundtrack.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I thought the song choices were excellent. Excellent. There's a couple that, like, you know, I could have done without, but generally I thought they, like, it complemented it so
Back
well.
in the Saddle again. Are you kidding me? No. Too hard on the nose. Performed by Gene Autry.
Yeah, Gene Autry. Okay. Yeah. So look, I mean, yeah,
Back
okay.
in the Saddle again.
I get it. It is a bit on the nose,
No.
but I think it's because I have an incredible soft spot for crooner, for the crooner kind of classics.
Yeah, fair.
And I could listen to that stuff non-stop. And as soon as I hear that, I think I kind of get on a wavelength.
Oh, okay.
And I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, I get what this movie's trying to do now. It's classic Hollywood throwback. Like it's, you know, I'm feeling it. I'm getting in the zone.
Megan, Whoopi, all of that.
Lovely.
Like I understood where they were going with that, especially with the Affair to Remember stuff. But there were nothing is coming to mind now. But there were ones in there that I can't think of that kicked me out of it. And I was like, no, come on. I want to stay in this. I'm staying in the juju. I want to feel the romance.
Yeah, fair enough.
I want to cry. Come on.
Yeah.
No, damn. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting indeed.
I have to have a bit of a quick shout out for that start dinner scene. It's the mother in 6 Feet Under, and she's talking with her husband, and every time she gets the bees,
the bee sting guy. So that's probably one of the only outright comedic scenes, I think. Is it?
I lost my shit.
Because I think I
was like, oh my God, go back to the bee couple.
I remember sitting there thinking, well, this is funnier than I remember it. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we got that.
And the line about it's like, oh, if I get anywhere near, I just die. I flat out die. They're all just having a good chuckle about the things that are going to kill them.
Yeah. And I love how, okay, so they get to there. Her dad, by the way, everyone, we're getting married. Yay, awesome. Da, 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 da. And the dad just decides to go, I'm thinking an August wedding. And then, no, we have a date for the wedding. Like that's how it happens. And I'm like, oh, no.
Well, no, because you got to have it in the garden. Because we've got to be able to have seafood. And so
I'm allergic to salmon. Well, I see some fish on the menu.
Yeah, you can just steer clear of
Well,
that.
I guess like we're talking ye old traditions where he's paying for the whole thing,
well,
so he gets to say when it is and where it is and what's getting served. So
it's such a early 90s Christmas dinner, that scene.
It really is.
I looked at it and I was like, I just want to experience that kind of Christmas dinner once in my life.
Oh, really?
Like in big winter jumpers
like that,
in a big old house like that with like fireplace going. I just want once in my life. I don't care whose family it is. I'm gonna knock on some doors and just be like, guys, I just help a brother out. I'm from Australia. We don't get to experience this. You guys look nice. Can I just come sit in here with you? I'll wear an ugly Christmas jumper. I promise I will.
I'll listen to your shit.
We'll drink some eggnog, and you know what? I can even play some Christmas carols on your piano.
Hey,
it'll warm us all up a little bit. Jingle bells. Oh, those jingle bells.
I buy eggnog every year to give it to my brother who fucking hates eggnog.
Yeah, right.
And every time I hand it to him, he's like, I'm not fucking drinking this.
I finally wanted to get on eggnog last year and I couldn't buy it anywhere. It was sold out everywhere.
Fucking serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you gave me some eggnog.
Oh, that's right.
In our Christmas special.
Well, that's our Nick Tice tradition from now on. I'm buying eggnog every year.
I think you should. I think that's awesome. A great idea.
Yeah, eggnog. Moving on.
What
have you got, Tice? Give me something.
What did we just talk about for a very long time?
Christmas.
All right, so I wanted to bring up something that this is all kind of time capsule stuff. I think it's funny when we watch a movie from 1993 that's commenting very heavily on how complicated relationships have become. And they're saying, we wish it was just easier, and it's like they're watching An Affair to Remember, and it's like, it's so simple, it's just it's how it is and stuff. These people's fucking brains would fall out of their noses if they saw what has become of 2018.
Yeah, fair.
Like, it's like such contrasts. I'm like, the way I'm looking at like watching this film and seeing how it's like, you call someone up and you ask them on a date, and the most complicated thing Rob Reiner can think of saying is that you got to buy some condoms after getting tested for STDs.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like,
you got
no idea
None.
what 2018
brings with it.
Yeah. Like, and it's such an interesting little time capsule to watch a movie, because we can watch movies that are set in the 90s a lot, romantic dramas, and we can kind of wistfully think about, wasn't it so simple back then?
Exactly.
But it's funny to see a movie commenting about how simple it used to be.
Yeah.
While we're sitting there going, how simple this looks.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I found really kind of interesting, and it gives it that time capsule quality.
It was good. It was good. I love, I'm going to bookend this. So, number one thing I did love was Tom Hanks's house. I would fucking kill for that house. To be honest,
on the water, that thing is beautiful.
I've always liked Seattle. I've never been. I've always wanted to live there.
I didn't realise how far north.
Yeah, it's right up
west. Man. Seattle is.
Yeah.
If you told me to point to Seattle on an American map,
oh really?
I would never have gone that direction.
I knew only because I was a fan of the Seattle Supersonics.
Supersonics.
When everyone was a Jordan fan.
Who was the guy? Who was the guy?
Sean Kemp.
Kemp.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yes. Question? You have a
question? Sean Kemp, the white guy that could shoot 3-pointers, really good?
No, that's not him. Sean Kemp is very black.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Steve Kerr?
Steve Kerr? I have no idea.
Okay,
anyway, so yeah, I knew that also because I have friends that live in Vancouver, which is literally over the border in Canada above Seattle.
So, right, it's really easy to get to Vancouver from Seattle, is it?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm more and more I'm liking the sound of Seattle. Like
exactly.
And it's when someone says it rains 70% of the year there, I was like,
fucking in.
Move me there right now.
Exactly. Same.
I want to live there.
I said that to Sam. She's like, get fucked.
But it looks so lovely.
I know, it looks so nice.
I want to live on the water
like that. And he has a little pier. He has a little
private pier.
Oh, come on, man.
And they can just go out on the boat whenever the fuck they want.
And go. I love how they just went out onto a boat, stood at the beach, kicked around the ball for a bit, and like, okay, let's go home and have fish and chips. Oh, dude.
It's a good house. It's a good house.
It's a fucking nice house.
I love that it had like submarine windows in the house too.
Dude,
I was
how good was that?
Big fan.
And it was windows all the way round.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Okay, so our love of that house is amazing. What I don't love, Tyson, is according to this film, every female cries at the mere mention of Affair to Remember.
Yes.
And if you get emotional at all, you are fucking pathetic. That scene, Tyson,
I don't like that scene.
Was really hard to watch.
No. I think
especially because it was coming from Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is not that person.
No, I don't. Yeah, you're right. I had the same feeling. I do think it came around to a nice place at the end when Rita Wilson joins in on the fun with them and realizes
but that's because what was she going to do?
No, of course, but it's not like, I think if the movie took it in a way where she kind of got a bit shirty and they kept doing it, I think that I think the fact that because it's obviously it's his sister, he understands her. I think there's a little bit of sibling kind of.
I didn't know that. I thought they were just friends.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Oh shit!
Are they just friends?
I thought it was his sister.
Right.
I just assumed because the kid loved her so much. I thought she was Auntie someone or other.
Auntie someone. Okay.
Auntie Rita Wilson.
Auntie Rita Wilson, who is actually my dad.
I was about to say, it was actually his wife, which is weird.
I don't have last names. God damn it.
God damn it. But yeah, so I felt the same way. Yeah. I think they kind of got away with it. But you're right. The sentiment of the scene, I think, is a bit weird because it's like, hey, emotional movie, don't give me a hard time about getting emotional in movies.
Exactly.
Because that's what you want me to do. If you're making this movie with smash cut to funeral in the first scene and telling me that it's not cool to get emotional during movies, be careful.
What are you doing?
Because
what are you doing?
Because the prior hour of this movie is telling me that it's probably okay to get emotional in movies.
Exactly.
And then
Stick to your guns.
Yeah, and then you kind of hang shit on her a little bit.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So
hang shit on her a lot. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was a bit rough.
But yeah, and then I looked
Victor
at the house
Garber.
and I was okay. But yeah,
one scene, Victor Garber. I like it. Just turns up.
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on?
I'm Victor Garber. Chill out.
Yeah.
Where's Bill Pullman?
As if he doesn't sing. Like, what a waste of time. Put him. Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Jingle bells. This year, Nick Tyson bringing out a crooner album.
Oh my God, we have to do a carols episode where we sing carols. That would be the best. Oh my God, people would lose their minds. We'd never get another listener ever again.
On your knees.
You can't
do that one?
You can't do a swing version.
I'm going to try
Holy
that.
Night.
All right, fine. Rudolph
That's
the
better.
Red-Nosed
We'll just play Michael Bublé CDs in the background and pretend it's us.
Yeah, fiddle. What else you got?
I got some stuff. What else have we got? Yes.
Had a very shiny nose.
So let's talk a little bit about Meg Ryan. A little bit more. I'm not finished.
No. We didn't really start.
No. So the movie paints that what she does. I think the movie is aware that what she does seems a little strange.
Sure.
Because it states it in the text. She has that conversation where she says, "I know it's crazy," and Rosie O'Donnell says, "You know what's crazy is that it doesn't feel crazy." And in my head, I'm like, yes, it is. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. It's totally crazy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
only because I think that back then, maybe what happened to her in the drive, her with that such a connection to that story, maybe it's supposed to be a bigger connection. But for us watching it now in 2018, I'm like, well, what
that's
the fuck
not the stuff that I mind.
Really?
I think that stuff's fine. I like that it's like...
No, I like it. I'm just saying that I think that it's her reason to go after him so hard.
Yeah. I think what kills it is the stalking stuff. It's the private investigation stuff. It's the hanging out, watching him.
Yeah, private investigation. That's a bit full on.
It's a bit full on.
Yeah.
I think if it had just been seeing him at the airport, the bit where she runs into them on the street and nearly gets hit by a car.
She drove there.
Yeah, so she obviously had to find out his address for that to happen. But, you know, maybe there's a way around that somehow.
I don't mind her looking him up on the internet. You know, it's a light Facebook stalk.
A light Facebook stalk. Yeah. Maybe you just, you know...
It's fine.
And you drive past and you think, oh, well, I'm being a bit crazy.
Exactly.
Here.
I'm going to give it a shot.
Like, she's like 100 metres from him around the corner of his own house.
I know, that's weird.
Peeking around while they're having fun time in the boat.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is weird. And then, like, paying somebody to take photos of him while he's having his dinner.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets weird. I think if it was, just those few isolated things and the letter saying, meet me there.
Yeah.
And it becomes this kind of like, well, why can't I stop thinking about the fact of being there on Valentine's Day?
Exactly.
What is it that makes me want to be there?
Yeah.
Instead of this kind of like, now you know exactly what he looks like, you know how great he is with his son. It's like she's got to have all this information. She gets all of it, and he gets nothing. She is a complete stranger to him.
She is.
Yeah, and they had a nice connection where she got off the plane right around the same time when he said, you know, something about.
I'm trying to make an effort. I'm trying to. This is what dating does. This is what dating is.
It's not. What does he say? It's not like someone's just going to walk in out and be the, you know, and
out of nowhere and
dream a weaver. I believe you can get me through the night. Is that the song that plays in Wayne's World? It is. I hope it's that, because I feel like it is that.
It doesn't matter. Ooh, dream weaver. I love that song. I fucking love that song.
Yeah, and so it kind of I get icky
it's
vibes.
Weird, yeah. Especially looking at them on the beach. Like, if you're going to do that, do that. Don't do the private detective. Don't do that one.
Yeah.
Do that, but have someone catch her and have a conversation. Oh, is that your they look like a nice couple, don't they? Or they look like a nice couple. That's the wrong fucking word there, Nick. They look like a nice family, don't they? Things like that, and say something about it. Don't just have her stare in the corner, go.
Well, I think it's weirder that it's at his house.
Be mine.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And
coming at it like Mr. Burns.
She's a strange character to begin with.
Yeah,
like,
she's a bit odd.
She has an odd kind of quirkiness to her. She seems like a genuinely quite nice person.
I like Meg Ryan. I really like Meg Ryan.
I like Meg Ryan, but I've struggled to I struggle to connect to Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing.
Yep.
I've watched a lot of, obviously, Meg Ryan. It was like America's Sweetheart, Meg Ryan, right?
She knows her niche.
Yeah. And, I've seen When Harry Met Sally, God knows how many times.
Yeah.
This, quite a few times when I was a kid. She was the romantic comedy it girl for a bit.
For the 90s, yeah.
For the 90s, yeah. In the 90s, when I was a
Young
teenager,
lad. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I always thought I'd get Meg Ryan when I was older.
Oh, you get her character? What do you mean?
Like, I'd get the appeal.
Oh, okay.
So I would watch her and just be like, yeah, I don't get it. But that's cool. It's Tom Hanks. It's a romantic comedy. It's all good. Whatever, I'm on it.
Yeah,
Billy Crystal's really funny. I'm enjoying this movie.
Sure.
I am now older.
You don't get it.
And I still don't get it. And I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I just don't think I'll ever get it. I'll never get the connection to Meg Ryan that so many people had.
Okay. Question.
Yes.
While you're saying that, have you seen the film of the 90s, 1994, with Meg Ryan, Andy Garcia, When a Man Loves a Woman? Have you seen it?
I have at some point.
You have at some point?
But that was a TV thing as well. I
have watched this film more times than I'm going
prepared to admit.
Yeah.
Hey man, Andy Garcia. I love Andy Garcia.
He's one of my man. But that is not a romantic comedy.
That's like a flat out drama.
It's a drama.
Yeah,
it's
she an alcoholic?
She is. It's a family dealing with the fact that the mother in the family is an alcoholic.
Sure.
And the strength and what they go through is hard to watch.
Sure.
That Meg Ryan, I love.
Okay.
That's my Meg Ryan.
Sure.
Everything else, though, I'm in your boat. I really don't get it. I'm like, especially in this, I'm like, Meg Ryan, what's going on? What are you doing?
See, like Julia Roberts.
Oh, I got it straight away.
I get 100%.
100%.
I watch My Best Friend's Wedding, and she's a lunatic. She is a downright lunatic in that movie.
Yeah.
But I'm still completely enamored with her. Julia Roberts. It's just Julia Roberts. It's charm personified.
It's her laugh. It's literally her laugh.
Whereas, Meg Ryan, it doesn't have that effect. And I don't know why, because, it's just obviously different things speak to different people.
I need to watch Pretty Woman again. I love Pretty Woman. Let's do that.
I feel like that's going to have some real problems with it now.
Really? What? Why?
Pretty Woman?
Yeah.
That she's
a prostitute.
Yeah. I think there's some shady shit going on in that movie.
It was a story.
Now. Yeah, it's definitely a story. Yeah, not wrong.
It did very, very well.
Yeah, I'd be really. I'm not sure I'm comfortable watching that one again.
And prostitution across America went up a lot when that movie came out.
That's not my qualms. I'm not saying that it's wrong to be a prostitute.
Okay.
I think there's going to be some pretty shady treatment of female characters in that film.
Oh, okay. There is.
I'll have to rewatch. Well,
no. We'll do an episode.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
We're going to cross that barrier.
And so anyway, with the Meg Ryan thing, I think this isn't a great example of what I think she's capable of. I think she's much better in. That's not fair. I think the character's much better in When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, okay.
Because this character, I feel like you can never really connect with this character because you're always put at a distance by the fact that it's like, is this cool? Like, what you're doing? Is this cool?
Yeah,
like,
that's so true. I was cool, and it just gets worse.
But that's
like,
it.
I was
and
cool
actually,
with it at the start,
it
and
does
now I'm
get
like,
worse.
I'm not okay with this anymore. Like, what's going on? And then you kind of forget about it, and then she goes to Bill Pullman, and then she runs, and you're like, oh, she's running because in A Fair to Remember she was late, and da-da-da, and I see the correlation, I see what's happening. And then you get there and she sees, and I knew straight away, I'm like, it's the backpack. The backpack is still there. I read it straight out. I haven't seen this before. I'm like, yeah, she gets the backpack. Let's go here. Come on, I want to see some magic. Give me some magic at the end at least.
Well, for a movie that talks a lot about destiny and fate and stuff like that, they don't really play with that concept very much.
No.
But then again, I guess they do it in a an actual real elastic way. In a realistic way. So maybe because the fact that the kid was able to find her letter out of the hundreds of them.
Exactly.
That they happened to be at the airport at the same time she walked out. So there are elements to it there, but they don't tend to play upon that. It's kind of like if you want to make a statement like that we are dealing with fate and destiny, you can soften some of the crazy and make it more coincidence based.
Yeah.
So that we feel like it wasn't the fact that she paid a private investigator to find out about him, that she actually just through sheer luck and chance found this information. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then we end up not thinking that she's a stalker at the end.
Exactly. I just need more of a connection.
Well, there is no connection.
There's no connection. It's just the start of something nice.
It's funny how it's a movie that, is completely about the beginnings.
That's
true.
true.
It's an entire movie without them ever being in this together.
They literally do have I think is it 8 minutes of screen time? No, I think it's under
together.
that.
It'll be far less than that.
Yeah.
It's the hospital. What am I talking about? It's the airport. It's like the ambulance scene. What ambulance scene?
Ambulance scene.
The airport, the bit on the road, and then the final scene. That's it.
Final scene. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all that adds up to 8 minutes, if that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it is about, and I think that's where coming in blind and not seeing this before, I was expecting a blossoming. Sorry about that. A blossoming romance, and what I got was the start of something that could be amazing.
Yeah, and look, it's kind of a nice. It's a nice change of pace that we don't get the will they, won't they vibes of a lot of these films because they always know each other. I'm sure there are other movies where there is no meeting until the last scene.
Is it?
I'm sure. Yeah, I can't. I'm really bad at spontaneously just coming up with things like that.
That's not true at all.
No. Like I know facts and shit, but when it's like if someone walked up to me and said, "Hey, give me a movie where this happens," I'd just and stop and roll on the floor. Because it's like the filing cabinet's too big.
Yeah,
it's like I need specific. I need like Dewey Decimal
Do you know
points.
What I love it because I used to have it at JB a lot. Someone would come up and go, "I'll give you this one." Okay, so this is a perfect because this is one that I remember. I've seen a movie where a son talks to his dad over radio waves.
Oh, frequency.
There you go. Like that's like those I'm good at.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Oh, give me the one-word summary and I can tell you the movie. Yeah, that's it. I fucking love Frequency,
I love those.
by the way.
Yeah, how good is Frequency?
It's pretty trash, but I loved it.
I loved it, yeah.
Oh, that's all right.
I knew exactly where it was. Yep, $6.98. It's
$6.98
just over there.
Real DVD.
Dude, it's on.
I like it.
Yeah.
I've got that DVD. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure I had it on VHS and now it's gone.
VHS.
Yeah.
Classic.
Old school.
Jim Caviezel?
Caviezel? Do you say Caviezel? Jim Caviezel.
The guy from the first one. Yes. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I want to say. The Fatal Attraction gag had me legit lolling. Where Tom Hanks says, "Haven't you seen Fatal Attraction?" Every man in America is terrified after seeing that movie.
I do have to shout out to the kid. The kid did, as far as acting goes for a child, that kid knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he did okay. Yeah. He's, I think he does better in the quieter stuff at the start. When he starts getting a bit more sassy, he's not as good. Although I do love when they're in the egg with his girlfriend and he opens the door and they both just shuffle their feet to spin the egg around. It's like, hey, what's up?
How cute is it? And who is she? She's just randomly there. I don't know who you are, kid.
She's what's her name? She's from like The Hairy Bird and Now and Then and what's her name? Kate.
He's almost got it. Her name is Gabby Hoffman. And she's from recently. You can see her on Transparent.
Yeah.
She's amazing. I love Gabby Hoffman.
Yeah, it was nice to see her.
Yeah, that was cute. My favourite was just how the kid did not give a shit about this new girl that my dad's going out with. And she comes up and she goes, "Hi, you must be Nick. How you going?" Yeah. And he literally just goes,
"Yeah."
Just a
little fake
wave,
smile when he's going to bed.
Whatever. Hey. Yeah, I've never had potatoes cooked like that before. I was like, fuck, that is intense.
That is some sass, young man.
That kid is hitting puberty very quickly.
Sass.
Jesus.
I
can't wait for my kid to hit puberty.
Oh, it's going to be a treat. Just you wait.
Yeah, Dad. Superman, it fucking sucked. Wow.
You are grounded.
You are fucking grounded, kid. I'm taking this PlayStation. Give me your phone. The internet is switched off for a month. I will not stream shit.
That's what I was about to change all the streaming passwords.
Exactly.
Let's. I think the last thing worth talking about.
Yep.
Because I think we've covered a fair bit of it.
Nothing else.
Just want to reiterate the strength of Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Because we've kind of glossed over just how good he is.
He is very good.
It kind of...
But it's a staple. You're going to get a certain...
You know what? We've taken Tom Hanks for granted, my man. Because we just go into a Tom Hanks movie and just go, yep, sure, it's Tom Hanks.
Code. Like, he doesn't... I'm not saying that he's perfect. I'm just saying that...
This Tom Hanks.
This
Tom
Hanks.
Hanks.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, go on.
You watch a movie like Sleepless in Seattle.
Hit me.
And because he is so unbelievably good at this,
Yeah.
we don't even second guess it.
No.
That this movie lives and dies on his ability to endear himself to us as almost instantaneously as he does, and how effectively we can be on his side, how much we want him to find happiness again, how much we like him as a character.
Yeah.
And in the hands of really most other kind of... I can't think of anyone that could do what he does as effectively. Maybe Steve Martin, I think, does something very similar as well.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
But
Steve can do the drama as well as the
yeah,
comedy.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll defend Steve Martin every day of the week.
will.
I am a huge fan of what he does. Yeah, he's just so
It's true.
good
You're very right. There's a Tom Hanks brings a caliber of acting that we have taken for granted in him.
I think so.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's very true.
I think we'll look back in years to come on the very sad day that we lose Tom Hanks.
It's not going to be fun.
We're going to look back at this stuff and kind of reassess just how fucking good he was.
From the start. Big.
Yeah.
I love that.
And look,
movie.
I'm not saying... It sounds silly because the guy's won 2 Oscars and he's usually in the conversation of the greatest actors of our generation.
I don't like that he won that second one. Yeah, keep going.
The Forrest Gump one?
No.
He's great in Forrest Gump.
Yeah, he's good. It didn't...
It's not a great movie, but he's great in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, it's this stuff that I think we forget about. It's stuff like Sleepless in Seattle, The Burbs, which we talked about the other day.
Yeah.
The Tom Hanks, even something like Turner and Hooch.
Oh,
right?
Don't get me
Which may not be a fantastic movie.
I love that movie.
But he's so good in it.
Yeah.
Like
things
he's
like
so
The
effective.
Terminal that you forget that how it's actually quite good, The Terminal.
The Terminal could have been awful, and it only works because of Tom Hanks.
Exactly. Charlie Wilson's War.
He's wonderful.
Amazing
in that.
film. And everyone's hidden favourite is Catch Me If You Can. Everyone loves that movie.
It's a great movie. Great movie.
Every time I bring up Tom Hanks or Leonardo DiCaprio, if someone is around me and they go, "Yeah, have you seen Catch Me If You Can? You should watch that." I was like, I saw it. What are you watching something that I didn't see? Why do you bring it up so much? I'm like, it's just good. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no shit. Once again, I return to my prior argument. Water is wet, the sky is blue. Catch Me If You Can is a fucking great movie. Get with the program, people. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if anything, this just kind of reiterated that for me. I got to the end and I was just like, fuck, I love Tom Hanks, man.
Yeah,
I just love him.
It was so good to see him go from, especially because you grew up with him so much because I watched Big back to back. Turner and Hooch was a constant in our family.
Yeah, mine too. Constant.
And then, Forrest Gump got a good turn as well. But when you saw him hit, my favourite was, because you kind of took him for granted, and then he did Saving Private Ryan, and that was something different for Tom Hanks. And then, for me, was Road to Perdition, and I was like, oh, there's a Tom Hanks we haven't seen before.
See, I love
and
Road to Perdition.
Amazing.
Love.
But I want him to be the bad guy, Tice. I want a scary Tom Hanks.
Well, he's apparently the bad guy in that The Circle. The movie, the kind of the thriller that's like with Emma Watson, and it's meant to be like kind of like Apple. He's meant to be like a Steve Jobsy kind of thing.
Oh, that's cute.
But I've heard it's garbage. So,
it's garbage. You're gonna watch it.
I am gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. And I think, along with Steve Martin, I think the next other actor that I'm going to endeavour to watch every single film that they are in is going to be Tom Hanks.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's next.
Okay.
And I'm talking like I'm going to go back. I'm going to watch all the shit that's really impossible to find, and I'm just going to track it down because I want to know. I just want to.
The man with the
man with one red shoe.
One red shoe.
I'm going to watch Every Time We Say Goodbye, which is a Protestant World War II pilot and a Jewish girl fall in love in Jerusalem.
No, that's wrong song. Sorry. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to track that down.
Yeah, track it down. Give it a watch. Tell me if it's good. It'll probably be shit, but you tell me if it's good.
I don't. It could be good. You never know. Big year. Big year for Tom Hanks. 93. Sleepless in Seattle and Philadelphia in the same year.
Jesus, that's a nice year.
That's a good year. Coming straight off the back of League of Their Own.
Yeah.
He had a run, man. He had a fucking run.
Yeah, his run keeps going.
His run, I'm flicking through. His run technically doesn't stop until The Lady Killers in 2004.
Jesus, that's good.
That's
really good.
All right, I think that might wrap us up, man.
That was it, Tice.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Very exciting stuff. That was 1993.
What else has Nora Ephron done?
Nora Ephron, she wrote When Harry Met Sally.
Uh-huh.
She directed the last couple of things she directed were not great. Oh, Julie and Julia was apparently good, but I didn't see it.
Okay.
The Bewitched remake.
Oh, that's a shame.
Lucky Numbers. That's kind of the lottery
I remember the
conspiracy thing with John Travolta. You've got Mail. Oh my God, Mail? Michael. Holy shit.
Jesus. I'm going to watch that again.
About an angel?
That again. Yeah.
Oh my God, that movie.
Do you remember that? John Travolta.
Remember that? It was that. Remember when John Travolta was making movies about weird, like, superpowered people? He did this and Phenomenon.
Yeah. I actually wrote Phenomenon. Have you seen that movie?
Not since it was the TV. I think I might have rented it in Video
Powder,
Easy.
which we're going to talk about. But Phenomenon and Powder.
Yeah.
Those two movies together, for some reason...
Powder's a Victor Salva film, by the way.
It is, yeah. Well, that's why I didn't say talk about that. But yeah, for some reason, Phenomenon. I'm going to watch that again. Can you stream that? Let's watch that.
Sure.
Okay, take it easy.
Mixed Nuts. Mixed Nuts is fun.
Okay.
It's not great, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Look, Nora Ephron doesn't have as prolific a career as some others, but I mean, she wrote... Did she write? No, she didn't write. I thought she wrote Moonstruck.
No?
Silkwood. Oh, I knew there was a Cher movie in there somewhere.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that was my first trip into Seattle that was sleepless.
Yes, indeed. Well done.
Yeah.
Should we move on to our next segment, Nick?
Which is...
what did you watch this week? What did you watch this week, Nick?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, why don't you go first?
What did I watch?
Yeah, I'm just getting my list.
Sorry, let me get my list out. I watched something.
I'm getting out my list.
I watched something, and what it was... Oh, dear Lord. Okay. I watched 2017's Life.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Directed by Daniel Espinosa.
That's correct.
With Jake Gyllenhaal, my man Ryan Reynolds, and Rebecca Ferguson. No, that is Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson.
That's the one. Yeah. With a smattering of other actors as well. I was in, watched the film, got into it, enjoyed it, liked the twist. There is a twist. I'm not going to ruin it. It was rad. I don't know what I did just
you just went weird then. You had a little glitch. I think we're back.
We're back. After watching it, though, upon... what is the word? Reflection.
Sure.
It was a out of 5. It was a 2 at best.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I could see what it was doing, but
effective scares.
No, not really. It's just Is
it just way too obviously
an alien ripoff? Like it literally is an alien ripoff. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it got to the point where I understand for the average Joe out there, that would have been a hell of a lot of fun, especially if you haven't seen Alien. If you haven't seen Alien, you can get off my podcast right now.
See episode number something or other
exactly.
when we did Alien.
But if you watch this for the first time, you had a ball. Awesome, that's great. But for me, watching this, the script is just dumb. It's getting to the point where
big problem with it.
It's Prometheus all over again. You're getting these people who are NASA trained, who are so up there and great that they're in this space station where they're studying new life.
Yeah.
That is such, there are rules and regulations. And it started off well, Tice. Had they kept on with this, no, we have to do this by the book, by the numbers. There's a reason we have this in place, which they did, and they did it really well. As soon as the cat was out of the bag, though, everyone was just fucking dumb. I was like, are you serious? I'm going to give you a little snippet.
Give us a snippet.
The guy was in the room with this thing, right? This thing. The goo. It's literally the trick of, don't put your hand in the hole. It's going to grab your hand. And they do the trick.
I mean, that's a rule that I generally live by. Don't put my hand into any kind of unknown holes.
Exactly. If you don't know what's in there, something's going to bite you. Do you know what I mean? Don't go that way. But yeah, when you put your hand in a toaster and you do that joke where someone goes, like that. Do you know what I mean?
It's like that scene in Flash Gordon.
There you go. They did this for real. He grabbed his hand, and the guy was like, "Oh no!" But he was stuck in the room.
Right
now they're like, "No, we can't get him. We just have to see where it goes. We'll just lock the room, or maybe did he jettison that part of the space station or something?" No. Dumbass, my man Ryan Reynolds goes to get him and dies, and I'm like, sorry, spoilers for fucking life, by the way.
We just angered a whole bunch of people.
No, we didn't, because you're not going to...
I actually somehow knew that.
Exactly.
Spoilers, let's reiterate, spoilers in case anyone missed that. I knew that Ryan Reynolds dies early in this for some
exactly.
reason.
So it's not... It just, from there, it just got really, really stupid really quickly, and I'm like, well... I've lost interest.
Sure.
I've lost interest in this.
It does make it hard. Like, as soon as you start questioning the decision-making abilities of your protagonists, there's nothing wrong with them making bad decisions in the heat of the moment.
Exactly.
That's what usually makes good movies. That's how horror movies exist.
Yeah.
But there's
I'm going to run up the stairs instead of out the door.
But there's and look, and that's the one that everyone fucking picks on.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like,
hey, if you were in that situation, tell me what you're going to do. You're going to run to the safety of your bedroom. You're going to run out to the street.
But when you start taking away people's
common sense,
inherent skills. Like, as in, it's the Prometheus thing. Don't tell me these guys are geographical experts and make maps and do all this stuff.
And then they get fucking
And then they get lost in their own, and have no way of fixing that.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the characters you want to paint, don't contradict your character description in their actions.
So it only, I went with the flow. And... me and my wife are yelling at the TV going, "Oh, why are you doing... Yeah, you're dead now. You're dead. Oh, he's coming. Oh,
sure.
Got you." Things like that. We were in there. We were enjoying it. And it was a bit of fun. Don't get me wrong. It was a bit of fun. But at the end of it, and upon reflection, I was like, you know what? That was just a fucking piece of shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still 2-star piece of shit.
Still 2-star piece of shit.
You're quite generous to your pieces of shit.
I am. Well, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't zoomed out to 2, for fuck's sake.
Okay, sure. Fair call. Fair call. That's life.
What else has Daniel Espinosa done?
Life. Safe House.
That's life. Safe House. Oh, really?
And
I love Safe House.
2 Guns, or is that somebody else? I might be making that up.
2 Guns. Let me look it up. While I look it up, what did you watch?
No, I want to find out first.
Oh, no, here we go. Safe House, Child 44, Easy
Money. That's
Money.
right. Child 44, that movie disappeared.
What, Child 44? Is that
Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy?
Yeah, and I think maybe Gary Oldman?
It is Gary Oldman. Where does this...
Yeah,
I haven't heard of this.
I saw the trailer for it and I got really excited, and then it just literally disappeared. So that's never a good sign.
Why a film does that? Why does a film do that?
Like, it came out, no one gave
like, nah, fuck off.
any shits about it. Literally couldn't drag anyone to see that movie, and so it just disappears. But I remember the trailer. I really quite enjoyed the trailer.
Safe House, man. I love Safe House.
Safe House is not bad.
I like Safe House.
Yeah.
I own that Blu-ray. It's fucking bad.
Oh, Jesus, that's commitment.
Exactly.
I like it.
What did you watch?
I watched the 2018 comedy Game Night.
Oh, yeah, decent. Was that good?
I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah?
I'm funny with comedies, as you may well know.
That's true.
I find a lot of them really disappointing. And when I find a good one, I really kind of latch onto it. Like, for instance, like the Neighbours films and things like that.
Yeah,
like
Bad
when
Neighbours,
when I get one and I'm like, I really dig what this is doing. I get really passionate about it. Game Night is not a film I will be particularly passionate about.
Okay.
But I think it was pretty effective. It's funnier than you think it's going to be, but then also not as funny as it could potentially be. So
it was a middle of the road.
But it's better than middle of the road, because I think when you go into a comedy, if you can walk out at the moment, it feels like when I watch a comedy, if I walk out not being like, well, that was garbage, they've done pretty well, and that says more about the state of comedy than anything else. But I think there's some stuff that really works in this. There's some really I think as soon as you cast Kyle Chandler in anything, I'm instantly on your side,
dude.
And Kyle Chandler does exceptional work. Really, really, I want to see him in more comedies. He is great.
Yeah.
He's really, really great.
Stole the show for you?
A little bit, yeah. But, I mean, that's personal bias. I'm fucking Coach Taylor, man.
That's all right.
Clear eyes, full hearts.
You're on that.
Rachel McAdams is really good in it. I think it's Jason Bateman is just being Jason Bateman.
But I love Jason Bateman being Jason Bateman. I love that.
I've got no real great issues with it. A kind of surprise packet for me was Billy Magnuson,
yeah.
Who I has popped up in random other stuff, but not a lot of big kind of high profile stuff.
Yep.
But plays like kind of their pretty boy friend who dates models and stuff, and is a bit, maybe not the sharpest tool in the shed,
right?
But has some really funny moments, like really quite hilarious. And it's very well written. It's paced really well. And the direction's really clever because they're game obsessed people.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So whatever game it is, board games, charades, word games, they just play all the games they can, and they're really competitive.
Yeah.
But for a lot of the wide shots, which I found really interesting, is that they used miniatures, what looked like miniatures to me, to make it appear as though it was like
they're in the game,
a board game.
Oh, decent.
And the camera would kind of pan in. Or pan across and then zoom in and would meet the action, and it would kind of shift into real life.
Oh, nice.
Now, I'm not sure if that was that's what it looked like to me, and I couldn't have been making that up.
Yeah.
Because it seemed really effective. And so I was kind of like, I thought that was a really nice little touch. And it gave it, it meant that they cared more. Like, you could see that it was a movie that the people actually cared about making, which is a problem with a lot of comedies, I think, is that, and I'll even go, along with something like Bad Neighbours 2, which I actually really quite enjoyed as a film.
Yeah.
It's not a very good looking movie. Like, it's not particularly well shot, well lit, well directed.
Yeah, yeah.
This is quite great to look at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
that's very rare. You get that in a comedy movie.
It's directed well, it's lit well, shot quite nicely. It just looks like a really polished kind of
nice
old school high budget comedy.
Yeah.
A couple of cool cameos. Like some fun ones.
Oh, yeah. Don't spoil it.
No.
Yeah.
A really interesting and kind of terrifying performance from Jesse Plemons, who I like. Yeah. Who's really quite good.
Jesse
a couple of set pieces.
He's a busy man, isn't he?
He's a very busy man.
Yeah.
There's a couple of set pieces that are like really kind of like hand over mouth, awkward laughter kind of stuff where it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I love that kind of stuff. I really do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can give this a pretty solid recommend. But it's not, I don't see it being a return kind of something I'm going to return to often.
Okay.
Like some of my favourite comedies, I wouldn't bother. I don't think I'd ever give it a second watch. But for a quiet Saturday evening when you're like, I want to watch a comedy.
Give it a watch.
Give this a go, because it's probably better than a lot of the other stuff you'll find.
Fair deal.
Floating around.
Definitely better than... What was the... No, it's gone. And that's how shit it was. Sorry, got nothing.
Mike and Dave need wedding dates.
There we go.
For instance. Stay away from that, even though it's got Zac Efron.
Exactly.
Baywatch. Don't watch Baywatch.
No, I have to watch Baywatch.
Oh, it's bad. It's so bad. Oh, God, it was hard work.
I know, it's going to be bad. But I have to watch it. Is it better than The House? What was it called? Is it The House?
Oh, I didn't watch The House. I should.
No?
I like Will Ferrell and I like Amy Poehler. So they're both extremely funny people in my mind. So.
I am just me and my wife. My wife has done it already. She did it when she was when Clark was just born.
Sure.
And she needed something to watch while she was breastfeeding the little man. But she did all of Parks and Rec, and she's doing it again with me.
Great.
What a hidden gem Parks and Rec is.
Yeah, I like it.
I like Parks and Rec.
I've worked my way through it slowly but surely.
It's so nice. It's such a good show.
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's great.
All right, Tones.
Shall we move it on to
our Cross Streams?
Oh, I couldn't get high enough that time.
That wasn't me. That was bad.
I just didn't get the range that I liked. I usually get a bit more range. I apologize for letting everyone down on that one.
That's all right. We salute you.
Really?
I'm trying to find a romantic comedy, Tyson.
Oh, okay. That's not a bad idea.
But there is fucking nothing.
Is there?
Well, nothing that I want to... you know what? No, I'm not going to do this one. No. Oh, okay, I got mine.
You got yours?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you were to turn to Netflix and rewind back to 2005 when it was just a baller year and everything was rad, there was a movie called Just Friends. Stars my man Ryan Reynolds.
I do like Just Friends.
And Just Friends is just awesome. It's
that's a bit of a sleeper hit.
How good
in my
is
head.
it?
Like, because I think it's pretty funny. And I think Anna Faris does...
She does
almost
so well.
all the good work in that film
she
as well.
She is so good. I love Anna Faris. Yeah. But yeah, Ryan Reynolds as a teenager always had a massive crush on the high school sweetheart Amy Smart.
What happened to Amy Smart?
What happened to Amy Smart? Let's look her up.
That's an interesting...
He goes back home for Christmas and finds out that Amy Smart is still living in the town. And who is... What's the guy that is also trying to get her? He was a man of the 90s.
It's Chris Klein,
Thank
isn't
you,
it?
Chris Klein, yeah. He is
Fucking
also
Chris
fucking
Klein.
hilarious in this. Oh, God. So funny. But yeah, it's it's more of the comedy than the romance.
It's a big flat out comedy. That was right around that time when all comedies had to be pretty big and broad, and you had a lot of misses, but I think Just Friends is a bit of a hit.
Just Friends is good.
Yeah.
Just Friends is really good. And one of my favourite stories of Just Friends is, I think it was not that long ago, I think it was 3 years ago, Ryan Reynolds got pulled over in a car by a policeman.
Yes.
And to get out of the ticket, the cop said, remember Just Friends? Remember the song you sang in it? Sing it and you get out of the ticket.
What does he sing again? The one that he sings in the mirror at the start.
I swear by the moon and the stars and the sky, I'll be there. I'll be there for better or worse, till death do us part. So good. My son is up and my wife is going to kill me.
She's going to kill you. Absolutely going to kill you.
In my heart. Stay tuned for Nick Tyson Videotape. Do soundtracks.
We should just have a flat out sings and tunes episode.
Look, we're doing a double CD. One is crooners, and the other side
just in time for Christmas, by the way.
It's just soundtracks.
So, we've got your Christmas presents sorted.
We've got it sorted.
You think you found the person you don't, just the person that has everything?
You're wrong.
They don't have this.
They don't have this.
They definitely
do
don't
not
have this.
Exactly.
No, I'm still going, to be honest.
Still going. And I swear.
No, hang on. I did find one, so I'm just going to do the one that I was going to do. I am going to talk about...
Go for it.
Okay. Now I've got one. I've got a romantic comedy that I absolutely love, and it's pitched at a slightly older generation.
Okay.
And it is the 2010 comedy It's Complicated, which you can find on Amazon Prime and probably some other places as well. I'll just have a little look-see.
Yeah.
Now this movie was a very big deal to me because it was the coming together of two of my favourite actors. 2009 it might have been, actually, in Steve Martin and Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
And they are both after the wonderfully charming Meryl Streep, the world's greatest actress, Meryl Streep.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a really sweet, funny... Nancy Meyers directed it.
Nice.
When we were just talking about, who were the other female directors that did all the comedies and stuff. So you had your Penny Marshall, you had your Nora Ephron, and you had your Nancy Meyers. Yeah. It's quite sweet. It's quite lovely. It kind of approaches romance for slightly older people. I think they're like in their mid-50s, early 50s, in a really sweet way. Characters are really genuine. The story is really lovely. I really quite liked it. And I know it didn't really get a lot of traction around the time it came out. But I would definitely recommend this, especially if you were a fan of those three actors. Steve Martin does a pretty kind of subdued thing. He's he kind of underplays it a little bit.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin is being pretty Alec Baldwin-y, but that's fine. Let him do his thing. And it's really lovely to see Meryl Streep as a object of desire.
Yeah.
Because I think she's fucking stunning.
Dude.
And it's like they actually play to that and say hey,
awesome.
She is stunning.
Yeah.
And this was 2010, so she's probably in her mid-50s and she's still gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Okay. And they're more than happy to use that, and so they should. And I think it's really great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was this the last movie? Steve Martin? Was this the last movie that Steve Martin's done? Because he doesn't do much anymore.
No, he doesn't do much anymore. He wrote a musical.
Okay.
Which is really great, which is really beautiful, and he does a lot of touring with his bluegrass band.
Yeah.
He's done he did that the big fish or something. What was that? It was
The Big Fish.
No, the big year. The big year. It's something about some guys that find a fish that only comes out once a year or some shit. I don't know.
Decent.
I have not seen that movie.
Yeah, fair deal.
But
I'm really looking for it. Keeps coming up on Netflix, and I really can't wait to watch it. This Steve Martin short comedy special. I can't wait to watch that on Netflix.
Is that not on yet? It's not that. Is that? I thought it was already there.
No, it is there. I haven't watched it yet.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah. No, it's on my list.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Many things that are on my list. So yeah, Tyson.
Yes.
Next week, we are doing a fan favourite. There is no way that no one likes this movie.
Is there? Is there no way?
There's no way that no one likes this.
What?
Wait. Let me try that again.
Too
Rewind
many
the clock.
double negatives there.
Jesus Christ. Everyone loves this
Everyone
movie.
loves this
That's
movie.
what I'm fucking trying to say. Okay.
Everyone does love this movie.
Everyone does love this movie.
I hope it holds up.
Luc Besson.
Luc Besson.
We're doing Luc Besson's The Fifth Element.
We are. I really hope this movie holds up. It used to be an all-time favourite of mine. I was obsessed with it when I was 16-ish.
Yeah, this was a constant on the video store floor. I used to play it all the time.
Oh, yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Multipass? Little Dallas Multipass.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's the only film that I like Mila Jovovich in.
Oh,
yeah.
I like Mila Jovovich a lot.
Do you?
Yeah, I think she's pretty great. And I think it might have started from this, to be honest.
Yeah,
but I remember having a fair, decent crush on her in this film. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I love this film.
Corbin? And the that Chris Tucker performance. What's his name? Ruby Rod?
Ruby Rod.
Oh, Jesus.
Ruby Rod. I
actually can't wait to watch this movie. It's been a really long time.
It's been a long time. And please, Gary Oldman, what are you talking about?
Oh my God, it's a great Gary Oldman
There
performance.
you go. General Zod? No. Zorg.
General Zod.
It's not General Zod.
Neil before Zod.
General Zorg. So next week we're going to do Fifth Element.
Excellent.
But
And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, coming very soon, our Spookisode episodes. If you'd like to be involved in the Halloween fun, or if you just want to talk about anything we've discussed tonight, or if you've got an opinion on Fifth Element coming up next week,
or if you would like to pre-order our double CD,
we are offering pre-orders. We'll get you. If you pre-order now, our first 100 copies get a second copy.
That's a bonus.
So you can
give it to a friend.
Give it to a friend.
Give it to your mum.
Give it to your mum.
Your mum, I like.
Mums would love.
Mums love
this
us,
album.
Okay,
Mums
would
love
us.
Love it. Nick, how can people pre-order our double album?
Well, for starters, you can go onto iTunes and tell us how much you would want this pre-album in your review. How about that?
Yes.
Of our podcast
Nice.
on Nick Tyson Videotape at gmail.com. Also, that is our email address. And you can rate, review, subscribe. I always forget subscribe. Like. That's a thing. Poke. There you go.
Go for it.
Sure, we'll like it. Other than that, we're on all the socials, which is, all of them. I'm not going to say them again.
Yeah, come and get involved. Come and post some shit. We post posters.
We do.
We put up some, every now and then we ask you some questions.
We put up some trailers that we love.
put up some trailers that, like things that we come across on the internet that's exciting and fun.
That's true.
So get involved. It's really fun, and we like having a chat to our listeners. It's always a good time.
Yeah.
Nick, that's going to wrap us.
Tice, that was fun.
Thanks, man. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, buddy.
Okay, bye.
Bye.